Welcome back with a smiley face. A link is provided in the video description for previous episodes. Giving up on the Alpha. Episode 9. Chapter 86. Lyanna POV. My blood turned her into a wolf. Axel asks cautiously. The correct answer is, I don't know, Michelle replies. We have no references to work with. I'm just in the dark as you are and I'm going with my gut. And your gut says I'm changing, I sigh. Or has already changed. If you had all the wolf's traits I would have said yes, Michelle explains. Until then, it's mostly a maybe. But humans always have some difficulty carrying a wolf's baby to term. You have little to no pregnancy symptoms or problems and you're not even halfway through the pregnancy. I'm not going to risk your health and the baby by stopping the blood transfusions. There's no way to tell what's going to happen in the end. Okay, then, I climb off the bed. Let's go home. Lyanna, are you sure you're okay? Axel asks as he and Michelle study me suspiciously. Yes, Alpha, I wink at him, but he does not even smile, and I sigh inwardly. Axel, there's nothing we can do now but wait and see. By all medical terms, I'm healthy and so is our baby. Sure, my condition is a bit of a mystery but that's not going to change if I stay here. She's right, Michelle nods. I'll run every possible test I can while you monitor her and her symptoms. I hold my hand out to Axel, and he takes it. Together we say goodbye to Michelle and leave. I have a meeting, but I'm going to cancel it, Axel says as we walk to the car. I don't want to leave you alone right now. No, Axel, I stop dead in my tracks and force him to turn to me. This isn't a health scare. Wolfie and I aren't in danger. Drew's going to take me and your dad home and you go to the office. But, go, I silence him with a quick kiss. I have wedding arrangements to finalize, and you have to generate funds to afford it. I never took you for a gold digger, he smirks as he places his palm against my cheek. Oh, definitely, I sigh theatrically. I want everything that glitters. I love you, he laughs heartedly before he kisses me tenderly. I'll see you at home. I smile softly as I watch him get into the car and leave. Ready, Luna? Adele asks and I nod. I am about to get into the car when I notice a familiar figure. Even from a distance she looks sad and lost. Hold on, I know her, I say as I start walking. I'm not allowed to leave you alone, Adele says as she follows me. Then come along, I grin. With long strides, I walk towards the lonely figure. Hello, Gwen, I greet her politely and she blinks a few times before she recognizes me. How are you? So, it's true, she sneers as she looks from me to Adele. You're the Alpha's mate. Yes, it is, I smile. But I'm not here to talk about me. I want to know how you're doing. Why? She snorts. Do you want to take what I have left? What? I frown dumbstruck. I don't understand. Oh, cut the crap, Lyanna, Gwen yells. You're not the victim here. You never were. And I never claimed to be one, I cross my arms in front of my chest. I still didn't take anything from you. Bullshit, she screams and instantly Adele places herself between me and Gwen. Watch your mouth, Adele hisses. You don't talk like that to your future Luna. It's okay, Adele, I say softly, and she comes to stand next to me. I want to hear what she has to say. He was mine, Gwen starts crying. He was mine first. We were in love and then you came along, and everything went to shit. Gwen, I'm a human, my words are soft and calculated. I would have never known that he was my mate if he didn't tell me so. You know how many times he came to my restaurant until I agreed to go out with him. You were there, for God's sake. You're blaming the wrong person. Don't, she hisses as she nearly pushes a finger up my nose. Don't you dare blame him. He's dead and it's your fault. There are none so blind as those who will not see, I smile sadly. I'm sorry for your loss, Gwen. Best of luck to you. I turn around and walk back to the car. You still don't get it. Gwen yells and I turn back to face her. You took everything from me. The man that I loved and the life I desired. Look at you. You're mated to the alpha and are surrounded by luxury. That was supposed to be my life and now you're living it. That's not my life, I laugh sarcastically. That's what you see, but it's not my life. I'm mated to the love of my life, Gwen. And I'm surrounded by people that care. That's all that matters to me. Oh, it's so easy for you, she looks at me as if I crawled out of a gutter. Judging me from your holier-than-thou pedestal. No, Gwen, I shake my head. I was too hurt and betrayed by you to have time to judge you. Gwen does not respond as Adele and I turn around and walk back to the car. Adele, I say softly when Gwen cannot hear us anymore. I want you to arrange for someone to keep an eye on her. She doesn't look well and there's a little boy at home. Sure, she agrees. But I'll have to inform Axel. I didn't expect anything else, I smirk. As long as I'm not planning a surprise party for Axel, you're free to report to him anything I say or do. Axel POV. My meeting is the furthest thing on my mind as I sit at my desk and wait for my visitors. I am not sure if I am excited or anxious about Lyanna's condition. After I got to know her, it did not matter to me that she was a human. I will love her even if she is a three-headed leprechaun. But it is exhilarating to imagine her as a wolf. There is a knock on my door before Lyanna allows my visitor to enter. Austin, I get up to shake his hand. Nice to see you again. Thanks for meeting with me, he smiles and takes the seat I am offering to him. I hope there's no trouble, I sit down and look at him. I'm very satisfied with our deal. So am I, he rubs his neck uncomfortable. But something has happened, and it has our board on edge. I'm listening, I say as alarm bells start blaring in my head. We received this, he reaches into his briefcase and hands me a document. It's from your previous supplier, Jack. I see, I murmur as I scan the document, and the longer I read, the angrier I get. Let me assure you, Austin, I put the document down and look at him. This isn't what happened. I didn't place a year's worth of supplies and cancelled at the last minute. Though nothing illegal has transpired, we cannot afford such a loss, Austin admits. Our company is still in its infant stage. We cannot increase production just to be stuck with redundant stock. Financially, we simply will not survive. Okay, I nod. What do you propose? I hate to say it, but the board feels that we should cancel, he sighs. According to our contract, the penalties for contract breach are less than the alternative. I take a moment to calm myself and overthink his words. I did an extensive background check on Austin, and I know he is trustworthy. I also know that he is from a middle-class family and needed capital to start his business. I don't care what your board says, I look him dead in the eyes. I made a deal with you and not with them. I want to know how you feel about this. He looks at me for a moment before he smiles. I would like to continue doing business with you, he admits. You're our biggest client and I liked you from the first time you came to see me. But it's not entirely in my hands, Axel. If the board votes against me, my hands are tied. In that case, we can come to an agreement, I smile satisfied. I will pay the entire year's order in advance. Axel, that's financially stupid, he shakes his head in disbelief. You'll lose thousands of dollars interest. For me, this isn't about money, Austin, I say thoughtfully. It's about trust and honor. This is an investment for me in your company and you. Your software is excellent, and I want it. But more than that, you're a good, hard-working man and I want to do business with you. So, to get your board off your back, I'll pay in advance and everyone's happy. I don't know what to say, he chuckles. I came here with the very unpleasant task of cancelling our business. I didn't expect this in a million years. I'll arrange for payment before you leave for Dallas, I smile reassuringly. May I ask one more thing? He asks cautiously and I nod. If you're willing to do this for me, a practical stranger, why are your business partner of decades slandering you? I was engaged to his daughter, I sigh. But I called it off and now he's pissed. It's a complicated and messed up story. But that's between you and me. Your board doesn't need to know that. Personal reasons, he nods. I get it. I'm going to give you copies of our correspondence, I add. That will be enough proof to your board that I didn't place any orders or backed out at the last minute. Jack's claims are lies and simply a manner to get back at me. Needless to say, we parted on bad terms. I'd appreciate that. Austin stands up and smiles from ear to ear. And I must add, after today's meeting, I'm looking at a bonus. Securing an income of this magnitude for a year is unheard of. Not to mention the years to follow, I say satisfied. Jack did not win this round. Lyanna POV, you're up early, I stretch out lazily as I watch Axel put on his tie. It's not that early, he chuckles. You slept in. Really? Surprised, I look at my watch. Why didn't you wake me? Because you don't need to be awake at the crack of dawn to pick out flowers for the wedding reception, he smirks as he comes to sit down next to me and leans in for a kiss. Can we go shopping on Saturday? I ask as I curl up in his lap and drape my arms around his neck. Wolfie needs a crib, among other things, and I don't want to do it without you. Other things like a name. He raises his eyebrows as his arms go around my waist. Yeah, I sigh theatrically. I have no ideas. Sticking with Wolfie would be fine by me. Short for Wolfgang. He mocks and I pull my face in disgust. I love you, he kisses me lovingly before he leaves, and I get out of bed to get ready for the day. I stare at the dining room table that is covered with cake samples. I need Axel for this, I sigh inwardly. Every single one tastes delicious to me. But he is a busy man, and I cannot waste his time with frivolous things. I pick up my fork and take a second bite of my favorites. Is all of this sugar good for the baby? Evil mother-in-law smirks as she enters the room. I sigh inwardly and drop my fork. She has officially spoiled carrot cake for me. Now, I will always associate it with her, and the taste is bitter. It's a boy, I reply nonchalantly. I don't know if you heard. I did, she smirks. And it's a poor substitute for the son you stole from me. Instantly, vivid, white-hot anger surges through me and I look at her with blazing eyes. My son is no substitute, I hiss as I stand up and walk towards her. And I didn't steal your son. You did, she shouts angrily. You took him from me. He turned against me, and you did that. Axel is not someone to take, I yell back at her as I completely lose my grip on my temper. He's someone to love. There's no sides here, Luna. You made a conscious decision not to be part of this. You can have both your son and grandson in your life, but you're shutting them out. Axel is living right here under your roof. He hasn't left. He is right here. He might as well not be, she argues. He hardly talks to me. You poisoned him and my husband. I'm a ghost in my own home. You walked out on them, I throw my hands up in despair. Not the other way around. All because you don't approve of me. Remember, Luna, love for your own doesn't mean hate for others. You don't have to like or love me, but you will respect me as the mother of this child just as I respect you for being Axel's. Respect. She spits. You call talking to me like this respect? Yes, I grunt. I do respect you. You raised a damn fine man and I love him. He is strong and kind and has a brilliant mind. For that, I respect you, but what you're doing now is despicable. You cannot call yourself a good mother if you shut him out when he disagrees with you. It's cruel to expect him to turn his back on his mate and child simply because you don't approve of me. If you love him so much, why don't you do the honorable thing and leave? She smirks. Honorable? I ask in disbelief. Keeping my son away from his father is honorable. No, she lifts her chin. You leave the baby and disappear. I spell it out clearly and slowly as my anger rises. You do not speak to me like that, she warns me. I'm still the Luna. I don't give about the Luna title, I shout beside myself in anger. I care about the title mother and grandmother. You might not deem me worthy, but right now, I'm more of a mother than you because I will never give up my child. For decades I fought for love and approval from my mother only to learn that it would never happen. I'll be damned if my child grows up in a toxic environment like that. My son will be loved unconditionally as long as there is air in my lungs. He will never have to prove himself to me or his father. He will never have to beg to be loved. You will not come near my child until you prove to me that you are capable of shoving your prejudice up your ass and showing love. My heart is racing, and my ears are ringing as I glare at her. It takes every ounce of self-control not to slap the bejesus out of her. I'm done with seeking approval from you, my mother or anyone else, my words are soft and calculated. I've been patient and polite despite your dismissive behavior, but I'm done. You went too far. Infuriated, I storm past her. I need to remove myself from this situation or I will kill her. Your own mother couldn't even love you, she yells. Whatever made you think I could? I grab the doorframe and inhale deeply to calm myself. I look up straight into the bewildered eyes of an Omega. I remember Adele's warning and smirk before I turn to face her. Congratulations, I smile sweetly. You just compared yourself to a narcissistic bitch. And just to be clear, not once did I ask for your love. Have fun with that. She pales visible and I release my grip on the doorframe. One more thing, I hiss. When you report my dreadful behavior to Axel, make sure to mention that you suggested that I desert him and his son. Make no mistake, Luna, I will repeat this conversation word for word. And that poor Omega that has been eavesdropping can back me up. I turn my back on her and storm away. Never in my life have I been this angry and I cannot control it. Once I am outside in the garden, I inhale the fresh air deeply and count to 10, but it does not help. My heart keeps on racing and my head starts throbbing. I grunt as I sit down on the nearest chair. I need to calm down, this cannot be good for Wolfie, but my anger does not want to let go. Adele, I think as I stand up. I need to find her so she can take me to Michelle. I'm here, Adele announces from behind me. How did you know I was looking for you? I look at her in surprise. You mind linked me, she frowns before her eyes widen. You mind linked me? Do you know what that means? Get me to the doctor, I grunt. Now. My heart and head want to explode as we rush to the car. But the headache is not nearly as bad as my anger. You need to go faster, I grunt as I open and close my fists while Adele speeds down the road. What's wrong? Adele asks concerned as she accelerates. I'm about to have a heart attack or pop an artery, I explode as my heart starts beating in my throat and ears. Adele goes quiet and keeps her eyes on the road. I'm sorry, I apologize. Please don't take it personally. I can't control it. It's okay, she says quickly. I know this isn't you. It's fine. I'm sorry, I mumble as I lay back and close my eyes. I need to calm down and I can't. Just breathe, Adele says. What do you think I'm doing? I blurt out. I'm sorry. No, go for it, Adele suggests. Sometimes screaming helps you to calm down. I can take it. You're a good gamma, I shout at the top of my lungs, and she quickly looks at me before focusing on the road. Axel, I need you, I mind link him but I have no idea if I am doing it right. Where are you? He replies and I bite back a sob of relief. On my way to Michelle, I answer. I'll meet you there, he reacts. I can mind link, my voice is back to its normal tone. And it's awesome. Are you feeling better? Adele asks concerned. No, I grunt. It's getting worse. We're here. Adele stops with screeching tires. I get out as fast as I can and run to Michelle's office without waiting for Adele. My heart and head are about to explode and the energy that is surging through me is frightening. Lyanna, what's wrong? Michelle jumps up when I burst into her office. I need to calm down, now. I announce and take a seat on the examination bed. Michelle rushes over to me and her eyes nearly pop out of their sockets when she takes my pulse. Your heart rate is through the roof, she exclaims as she opens a medicine cabinet. I'm angry. I shout and she looks at me in disbelief. I'm so angry and I can't calm down. Oh, shit, she mumbles as she takes my arm. What? I ask brusquely. No, nothing, she replies. Lay still, I'm going to administer an injection. Hurry up, I order and lay down. I can mind link, I say as I keep my eyes fixated on the ceiling when she pushes the needle into my arm. We can discuss it once you wake up, she replies through stiff lips. Wake up. I look at her confused as I feel my body relaxing. I gave you a tranquilizer, her voice comes to me from a distance. It was the quickest way to get your heart rate down. Thank you, I mumble with a thick tongue before darkness consumes me. Axel POV, where is she? I call out to Adele when I see her waiting in front of Michelle's office door. What happened? She got angry, Adele replies. Lyanna said it feels like she's about to have a heart attack. Michelle is with her. Do you know why she got so angry? My guts are in turmoil. I do not think it was a heart attack, I think she was about to shift. She and your mother had a fight, Adele replies uncomfortably. I don't know what about, but you could hear them screaming at each other from miles away. Her answer is like a punch in the gut. I am not blind to mother's attitude towards Lyanna, but I never thought it would go this far. Secretly I hoped mom would stop her nonsense when she sees how happy I am. Good, Michelle says as she comes out of her office. You're here, we need to talk. How is she? I ask urgently. Asleep, her answer is abrupt as she looks from me to Adele. I gave her Wolf's tranquilizer. Are you insane? I hiss as I fight panic and anguish. How can you give her that without knowing if it is safe for her and the baby? I don't need case studies anymore, Alpha, Michelle stands her ground. Not after what I've just witnessed. We need to talk, I grunt and push my fingers through my hair. That's what I've said, she replies stiffly. Adele, I look at her. Guard Lyanna until we get back. Yes, sir, she nods, and I follow Michelle to an empty examination room. She was about to shift, wasn't she? I ask as she closes the door behind us. Without a doubt, she sighs heavily. There was already fur on her arm when I injected her. 10 more minutes and it would have been too late. Are you sure the tranquilizer wouldn't harm her? I ask concerned. Yes, she nods. Its sole purpose is to keep the wolf dormant and human alive. Lyanna cannot shift, Axel. If she does, your son will die. We cannot possibly keep her sedated for another 5 months, I protest eagerly. I know that, she continues calmly. And we won't. I'm going to give her a mild sedative that she should take daily. It contains a small amount of wolfsbane. Her wolf will be calm and suppressed while she can go by her day as usual. It won't affect her, only her wolf. And our baby. My heart pulls painfully as I think of the damage that it could do to him. How's it going to affect him? It won't, she smiles reassuringly. Thousands of she-wolves use it during pregnancy. Listen, I exhale deeply. I know Lyanna can't shift, but is this absolutely necessary? Is it really worth risking her wolf and our baby? Lyanna didn't lose control, she got angry. This isn't a daily occurrence. It's necessary, Michelle exclaims frustrated. You didn't see her, Axel, I did. And I'm telling you, Lyanna's wolf reflects her. You know her history better than anybody else. You know her demons and her determination to fight and survive. Her drive to protect, not only herself but others. Every time she feels threatened, or that somebody she cares for is threatened, she's going to have to fight the shift. You can thank your lucky stars she had enough sense to come to me when she did. Speechless, I stare at Michelle as her words sink in. Not only has she survived her parents' neglect, but she also survived Brad and Angela. Still, she is the one who fought me not to kill Angela and Wilson. She is the one who said we should help and support Gwen. She protects everyone. And when she was sick, she did not want to see Michelle, I had to force her. This time she went to Michelle out on her own. Axel, Michelle smiles softly as she looks at me. Lyanna's wolf is an alpha. And not just by your blood, but by her personality. She's going to be one of a Luna. That's if she survives this, I croak as I fight the overwhelming emotions of despair and fear. Aren't you listening? Michelle raises her eyebrows. Lyanna's a survivor. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't help her and ease her way. She's going to make it, Axel. And we'll support her every step of the way. How long until she wakes up? I ask eagerly. I need to hold her and reassure myself she is fine. At least 2 more hours, she replies. But I'm keeping her overnight for observation. Okay, I nod. I'll be back with my stuff. I'm staying with her. I'll make the arrangements, Michelle smiles. And I'm not sleeping in a chair, I warn. Get a double bed. Axel, you know I can't, that wasn't a request, Michelle, I grunt brusquely as I leave the room. I mind Linkadel to stay with Lyanna before I hurry home. Mother! I bellow as I burst through the front door and storm towards Dad's office. I have no idea what happened and who is at fault, but I am sure she is already stating her case with him. Mom is sitting on the couch, sobbing her eyes out while Dad comforts her. Axel, Dad looks confused and hurt when he looks at me. We need to talk, son. Damn right, we should, I snort as I take a seat opposite them. What have you done, Mother? Me. Mother sniffs distraught before she turns to Dad. See what I mean? She has turned him against me. Me. His mother. Axel, Dad says patiently. Please take a moment and listen to her before you decide it's her fault. Okay, I nod and plaster a smile on my face. If this is how Mom wants to play it, I will play along. Dad smiles appreciatively at me and Mother's shoulders relax. I'm listening. It was horrible, Axel, tears stream down her face as she looks at me. Her direct words were, she has no respect for me. Yeah, I chuckle. That sounds like her. How can you laugh about it? Father growls. She has no right talking to your mother like that. I don't care that she's your mate and future Luna. There are boundaries. I couldn't agree more, my laughter disappears, and I look at Mother in anger. I also know Lyanna would only say such a thing when provoked. So, Mother, what have you done? Nothing to deserve such an outburst, Mother shouts defensively. I told her she turned you against me and this just proves it. I don't know what she told you, nothing, I jump up and her tears dry up. Lyanna hasn't told me anything because she's sedated and in the hospital. Is she okay? Dad asks concerned. Why is she sedated? Because she's weak, Mother snorts. Just like I've been saying the entire time. One argument and she's hospitalist. How on earth do you want to run a pack with a weak human? Mother, I close my eyes and take deep breaths as I open and close my fists to keep calm. You don't know what you're talking about. So, I advise you to keep your mouth shut. Axel, she gasps. Son, Dad warns softly. Don't say things you could regret. Lyanna has a wolf, I glare at mother, and she visibly pales. If you took a minute to get to know her or show an ounce of interest in her and our baby, you would have known that. She's not in the hospital because she's weak. She's there because she's strong enough to fight the shift and keep our baby alive. So, I'm asking you again, mother. What did you say to her that made her so angry that she was about to shift? What did you do that nearly cost me my mate and child? That's rich, mother sneers. Because she can't control her wolf, I must walk on eggshells in my own home. She did control her wolf. I yell. Because if she didn't, you'd be dead along with my child. Stop avoiding my questions and answer me before I humiliate you and call in the Omegas to report. I told her to leave. Mother jumps up and her eyes do not waver from mine. If she really loves you, she will leave the baby and disappear. She doesn't belong here, and I told her so. You said what? Dad mumbles before I can find the words. I was simply being truthful, Mother defends herself. The two of you are so smitten with her, that you can't see what's right in front of you. And what's that, Mom? My words are a mere whisper. A lowlife, trailer trash girl whose parents couldn't love her, she snorts in disgust. And now she found a way to worm herself into wolf royalty. You know what, Mother? I crank my neck to relieve the tension. Lyanna was right. Axel, please, Dad intervenes. Your mother made a mistake, but can we please talk about this? I'm not mistaken, Mother explodes. You're blind to the truth. That's enough, Dad warns her, and she goes quiet, but I do not miss the challenging pullback of her shoulders. I'm trying to salvage this and you're making it worse every time you open your mouth. Don't bother, Dad, I smile sadly at him before I look Mother in the eyes. She's entitled to her opinions. But so am I, Lyanna, and I won't be staying here any longer. This is the Alpha's house. Once I take over, my Luna and I will move in. You're welcome to stay, Dad, but Mother's no longer welcome in my house or near my mate and child. Axel, please, Dad begs. Don't decide in anger. Father, I respect that you're fighting for your mate. I rest my hand on his shoulder, and he suddenly looks 10 years older. And it should be like that. The same way I'm standing up for mine. But until Mother apologizes to Lyanna, I do not want to see her. Dad's eyes fill with tears, as I turn around and walk away. Axel POV fury rages through me as I pack an overnight bag. I will order Omegas to pack the rest. All I want is to get out of here. I do not know what has gotten into Mother. She has always meddled in my life. It was annoying, but it did not bother me, because she did not actually do anything. It was mostly setting up blind dates and coincidental encounters, but this is unacceptable. How could she for 1 second think I would be okay with leaving my mate? Or worse, take our baby from her and then send Lyanna away? Axel, Dad says hesitantly before he enters. I'm so sorry, I didn't know. I'll talk to her. It's fine, I pick up my bag and walk to him. My strong, proud father is now a crooked old man and heartbroken. This isn't your fault. Please don't go, Dad pleads with emotional eyes. I'm sorry, Dad, I rest my hand on his shoulder. I cannot stay here. But I'm not shutting you out of our lives. We'll see you every day, I promise. But with Mom's attitude, we risk Lyanna shifting and I'm not taking that chance. I hope you understand. I do, he inhales deeply and looks up for a moment before turning away. I would have done the same. I feel like a monster as I walk to the car. This is not fair towards Dad. He has been nothing but supportive. And he is great with Lyanna. He embraced and accepted her into his life. But I am not going to make him choose between his wife and son. That is not right, and he deserves better. Lyanna POV I feel groggy and I have the taste of death in my mouth when I open my eyes. Welcome back, Luna, Michelle smiles as she picks up my wrist and takes my pulse. You gave us quite a stare. I'm sorry, I mumble and close my eyes. I tried to control it. Not what I meant, she chuckles. You did the right thing coming here. You were on the verge of shifting. What? I force my eyes open. Last time I checked, there was only a possibility that I would transform. Congratulations, she smiles softly at me. You're a wolf. But, after the birth, you said, I know what I speculated, she takes my hand. But after today, there's no more doubt. With closed eyes, I listen as Michelle tells me what happened. But I am too dazed and woozy to respond. I want to be happy, but I am also terrified. I do not want to lose Wolfie because I cannot control myself. And you're sure your happy pills will work? I ask skeptically when she is done talking. Guaranteed, she squeezes my hand. Isn't there like a wolf school or something where they can teach me to keep my wolf under control? I sigh. That will happen after you give birth, she laughs. For now, we concentrate on keeping you and the baby alive. Sounds simple enough, I say sarcastically. Nothing about this pregnancy has been simple. We're moving you to another room, Michelle ignores me. You're staying for the night and Axel insisted on joining. I got one of the good ones, I smile dreamily. Yes, you did, Michelle laughs. Don't try and get up. You're still recovering from the sedative and might lose your footing. I wasn't going to, I mumble. It's enough effort to stay awake. Then don't fight it, Michelle advises. Go back to sleep. We'll take care of you. Thank you, I murmur and allow the darkness to take me away. It takes my eyes a moment to adjust to the dark room, but the second I recognize Axel's soft snoring next to me, I relax and snuggle closer to him. Are you awake? He mumbles sleepily. No, I whisper smiling. Go back to sleep, I'm only making myself comfortable. Liar, he yawns and pulls me closer to my chest. How are you feeling? Hungry, I confess. In other words, you're fine, he laughs as he reaches over and presses a button. Seconds later a nurse arrives and Axel orders me food before he looks at me. I know what my mother said, his voice is strained. I'm sorry. Don't be, gently I stroke his cheek. If there's one thing I know, it's unreasonable mothers. Besides, I wasn't nice to her either. I know, he chuckles. Did you really say her and her title? Yup, I sigh and look at him apologetically. I'm sorry. I was so infuriated, I shouldn't have said that. That's exactly what you should have said, he leans over and kisses me. And I told her so. I think it's safe to say I suck with mothers, I sigh theatrically. But I'll apologize and, no, he cuts me off quickly. She must apologize to you. Never apologize for standing up for yourself. Love, she's your mother, I say patiently as I cup his face. And we're living together. It would be best for all if she and I can sort this out. I'm not taking back what I've said, but I could have said it nicer. Believe me, I would have said much worse if I were in your shoes, he smiles as he plays with my hair. You don't owe her anything and we're not going back to that house until she apologizes and adjusts her attitude towards you. And that might never happen, I exhale deeply and sit up. We cannot do that to your dad. He doesn't deserve this, and neither do you. This thing is between me and your mother. Then what do you propose, Lyanna? He grunts irritated. Sweep it under the rug as if nothing happened for the sake of me and my dad? What about next time? What if you can't control the shift and somebody dies? Even if we do move into my cottage, I must learn to control my wolf, I reason. Either that or lock me up in a padded room to shield me from everything that could trigger me until Wolfie is born. That's why Michelle is prescribing those pills, he argues. So that you don't lose control. And by that argument, I can face your mother, I say irritated. What do you want me to do, Lyanna? Axel grunts and gets out of bed. I'm doing my best here, but nothing I suggest is good enough for you. Okay, wow, I hold my hands up defensively. This conversation is turning into a huge misunderstanding. I know your decisions are in my best interest and I'm trying to do the same for you, Axel. He sighs defeated and sits down on the bed and I climb onto his lap. This isn't supposed to be about me, it's supposed to be about us. I wrap my arms around his neck. My needs are not supposed to be all that matters. Your mother doesn't like me, but she loves you. Sure, she's a meddler and in her distorted way, she wants to help you. In her mind, she is protecting her son from the wrong person. Can you honestly say that you wouldn't do the same for Wolfie one day if he came home with a gold digger? But you're not like that, he grunts and buries his face in my neck. And she doesn't know it, I stroke his hair. Because she doesn't want to, and neither of us can change that. As much as I want to kick your mother, she's still your mother and your father's mate. Can you imagine how torn he is? What are we supposed to do then, wise ass? His arms tighten around my waist. Because I can't see a solution without cutting her out of our lives. As much satisfaction it would give me to give her the boot, nobody wins, I say sympathetically. Not her, not you, not your dad and least of all Wolfie. She's his only grandmother. Your mother and I must find a way to coexist in peace. Let me talk to her, okay? What if you get angry and shift? He asks concerned. I'll take an extra pill, I smile. And I promise I'll remove myself from the situation before it gets too bad. The only way you're doing this is if I'm with you, he insists. You're more than welcome, I shrug. I'm not hiding anything. Why? He looks at me perplexed. Why are you so insistent to get along with her? I get you're doing this for me and Wolfie, but we'll be fine without her. Because I know how it feels, I smile sadly. Separating the heart and the mind isn't easy, Axel. I know it's better without my parents, but I still miss them. My dad was a great dad. Sometimes I miss him so much that my heart wants to explode. Until Leon's death, he was always there for me. He always took my side. It's been months and I still cannot comprehend what exactly happened. I expected it from Mom, but not from him. I'm dying to tell him he's going to be a grandfather. He would have loved it. The loss of my mother isn't that great. She is toxic and a narcissist. I know it, but my heart yearns for her love because she is my mother. Nothing can change that. Not even the cold hard truth that she's incapable of loving me. I can't go back to them, Axel. I can't fix them. My mind knows it, but my heart is mourning. And I don't want that for you. You're saying all of this but still you're willing to open yourself to rejection from my mother, he sighs. She's not worth it. This is different, I kiss him softly. I don't crave your mother's love or acceptance. She didn't hurt my feelings today, Axel. She infuriated me because of what she's doing to you and there's no way she's going to pull those stunts with our child. Respectfully. Michelle is right about you, his fingers tangle into my hair and he pulls my lips closer. You're going to be one of a Luna. Lyanna POV. That was the most pleasant hospital stay ever, I grin as Axel parks in front of the mansion, but he does not laugh at my silly joke. Lyanna, his voice is thick with concern as he looks at me. Are you sure about this? We can simply go inside, get our stuff and go. We don't have to talk to Mother. I'm doing this, I lean over and kiss him. Your mother is not coming between me and decorating the nursery. But seriously, somebody must talk sense into her before it's too late. You know I choose you over her. Axel looks at me intensely. I do, I place my palm against his cheek. But you shouldn't have to. Quickly I get out of the car before he can continue to debate this. I know what I am doing, and why I am doing it. Yes, she grossly overstepped, and this is between her and me, but this also is not about us. This is about Axel and his dad. They will have to live with the consequences, and I will not be responsible for their sorrow. It does not matter how much he loves me, there will be a day when he will miss his mother. One more thing, I take Axel's hand as we walk to the front door. I must warn you that I'm going to talk to your mother very directly. She's not going to like it. I'll stay out of it and let you do your thing. He squeezes my hand. Thanks to Michelle's pills, I am calm and relaxed when we find Axel's mother reading in the office. She gives us a bored look before she puts the book down. Are you here to apologize or say goodbye? She asks stiffly. Neither, I reply politely and take a seat opposite her. We're going to talk. How nice, she sneers. And I see you brought my son along as what? Backup? Or are you going to team up against me? I'm security. Axel grins and walks to the cabinet to pour himself a drink. I'll be the one saving your ass when she wants to rip you apart. Lucky me, she rolls her eyes. But let me save you both the trouble and tell you I'm not interested in what you have to say. Other than an apology. Okay, I smile sweetly. I'm sorry you're such a narrow-minded and self-righteous bitch. There you go again, she gasps. Insulting me. Do you have no respect? Oh, for sake, I grunt irritated. Cut the crap, Mrs. Silverman, and drop the drama. I'm not dramatic, she protests. I simply don't care for your banality. Stop it, my words are harsh and loud. I am so over her attitude. Just stop it. Stop with the indignant gasps and the theatrical gripping of your heart. It's pretentious and false and nobody's buying it. You can't claim higher ground after you told me to abandon my mate and baby. Axel growls low and deep. Startled, I look at him. With excess force, he puts the glass down and crosses his arms in front of his chest. Sorry, he grunts with his eyes fixated on his mother. But I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive her for that. Is that why you're here? She narrows her eyes. To tell me what a terrible person I am. No, I say sharply, and she looks at me. You can figure that part out on your own time. I'm here to tell you that I'm not going anywhere, nor will we be leaving the mansion. Now I get it, she smirks. You're desperate for our wealth and the cottage isn't good enough for you anymore. I don't own anything and yet I have the world, I smile as I look at Axel. I have a truly great man's love and soon we're going to welcome our perfect boy. And I'm being accused of theatrics, she snorts. Here's the thing, Mrs. Silverman, Luna, she interrupts me sharply. Mrs. Silverman, I insist and lean forward in my chair. She is behaving like a spoiled child and not a Luna. I have survived my mother and you're a minor in comparison. You don't scare or intimidate me. I simply don't care enough for you that it matters what you think of me. There's nothing you can do to make me leave. You're of the opinion that I'm after Axel for status and money and you're sadly mistaken. Axel knew I was his mate long before I did. I fought it, but he waited patiently for me to be ready to accept him. I didn't know what unconditional love was until I met him. He's the one that taught me I'm worthy of love. His love. Now that I found him, I'm never letting him go. He is my life and I'm committed to him. She looks at me with a stoic face as I stand up. Now you know how I feel about your son, I look her dead in the eyes. And that should be enough for any mother. You don't like me and it's fine. I don't care. Honestly, you haven't given me much of a reason to like you either. However, we do have one thing in common, we love Axel. And you and I will do the grown-up thing and tolerate each other for his sake. And for Grant's and this innocent little baby. Such a heartwarming speech, she sneers. If, I'm not done, I cut her off brusquely. You and I will stay out of each other's way. But when our paths do cross, we will be civil and even friendly towards each other. Because we have the same goal to keep this family together and happy. You have no say in this, but you do have a choice. Fight it and end up alone and bitter or embrace it and be part of our lives. If you can't do that, then you're not the loving mother and strong Luna you claim to be. Don't let a human outshine you, do better. Be better. I do not wait for her reply as I turn around and walk away. What she said, Axel grunts as he follows me. Axel POV, are you okay? I whisper as Lyanna and I walk up the stairs to our room. She seems calm enough, but I am not. It will take me a while to forgive Mother for what she has done. Yes, I am, she smiles brightly at me as she puts her arms around my waist. I'm annoyed but not angry. Maybe I should take some of those pills, I grunt, and she laughs softly. My heart swells with pride as I watch her walk into our room. Last night when she said she wanted to talk to Mother, I thought she was going to apologize. That she was going to make herself small again to fit in. And I am thrilled that I was wrong. Not only did she make it abundantly clear that she cannot be manipulated, but she also challenged Mother. She has no choice but to go along with Lyanna or she will be the lesser Luna, and she will hate that. You did well, I take her by the wrist and pull her into my embrace. I'm proud of you. I can't take all the credit, she drapes her arms around my neck. Your love and support gave me the courage to do it. It is silent in the room as I kiss her long and tenderly. I need a favor, I sigh reluctantly as she pulls away. The very last thing I want to do now is talk business after her victory. I'm dying to say anything, Lyanna looks at me suspiciously. But with that look on your face, I'm afraid to say yes. It's not that big of a deal, I say as I sit down in a chair. I'm listening, she walks to the mini fridge and takes out a juice. I know you asked to go shopping tomorrow, but I can't, I say. That's it. She frowns as she takes a seat opposite me. That's not the end of the world or a favor. Dad and I are going to see Jack, I watch her hands still for a moment before she continues drinking. And I want you to spend the day with Nina until I get back. Are you going to talk to him about that stunt he pulled with Austin? She asks cautiously. Yes, I nod. But Jack doesn't know I'm coming. I doubt that he would see me. According to him, it's a social visit from my dad. That's also the reason why we're doing it during the weekend. Makes sense, she says thoughtfully and puts the juice down. Do you think you'll see Angela? Probable, I shrug. But you shouldn't worry about her. I'm not, she snorts. Your day is only going to be so much more messed up if she's around. You're right, I exhale deeply. But I have no choice. Jack must know that I won't tolerate his behavior. So, why am I going to Nina's? She looks at me curiously. Not that I mind, we have a dress fitting anyway, but what's your reason? I don't want to leave you alone with Mother, I blurt out the truth. Axel, she looks lovingly at me. I'll be fine. And Adele will be glued to my side. You have nothing to worry about. I know, I say hastily as I stand up and kneel in front of her. You've proven that. I'm asking for myself, Lyanna. Tomorrow isn't going to be pleasant, and I don't want to wonder if you're okay. Even if you can fend for yourself, I feel the need to be here and support you. Okay, she cups my face and kisses me softly. I'll gladly do it for you. I stand up and pull her into my arms. That will put my mind at ease. Just come back safely, she looks at me with her big, beautiful eyes. Always, I smile. Axel POV, how's Mom doing? I ask as we drive to Jack's house. She didn't come to dinner last night. She had a migraine, Dad sighs as he looks out of his window. But we both know that was a lie, he turns to face me. She knew she was wrong and was humiliated. So, she couldn't face you. She actually said that. I raise my eyebrows. It is not often that Mother admits defeat. Everything but the wrong part, Dad chuckles. She will not admit that aloud. But Lyanna challenged her with logic and reason. She knows she overstepped. How do you feel about all of it? I look intensely at him. I'm just happy you stayed and that there's a form of peace, he snorts. I was at the point to kick your mother out of the house. We sure know how to pick them, I roll my eyes and Dad bursts out laughing. Jack's residence is exactly how I remember it. Impeccably neat and tidy. I refused to come here after I broke up with Angela when we were teens. Dad and I do not say a word as we follow the Omega to the balcony where Jack is basking in the early morning sun, reading through documents. Grant, Jack greets jovially when the Omega announces us, but his smile falters when he sees me. And Axel, please have a seat. I do not listen to Dad and Jack's small talk as we are being served coffee and croissants by an Omega. So, Axel, Jack looks at me when it is only the three of us. Are you here to talk business? We have nothing else to discuss, I shrug nonchalantly. It takes a big man to admit his mistakes and ask for another chance, Jack smiles victoriously. But don't worry, Axel. I don't hold grudges. We can pick up where we left off after we negotiated new pricing. Dad gives me a sideways glance before he invests his attention in his coffee. Who said I wanted to renegotiate? I smile amused. This arrogant bastard truly thinks he ruined my contract with Austin, and I'm crawling back for his business. Come on, Axel, he looks at me patronizingly. You've been in this business for years. You know I gave you the best price. But after your, lack of hospitality, I cannot sell to you at that price anymore. Trust has been broken and new bridges must be built. Interesting, I smile as I put my cup down and lean forward. Jack, Austin outbid you. Not only are his prices lower, but his software is also performing better. Okay, Jack nods after a while. I'll match his price. I don't think so, I smile politely. I won't go lower, Jack grunts. And you don't have to, I lean back. You assumed I'm here to negotiate a deal, but you're wrong. However, you are right about one thing. I did make a mistake. I blindly trusted you because you and Dad are friends. It never occurred to me that you're not giving us the best price. Imagine my surprise when I talked to Austin and learned that not only are you more expensive, but your software is outdated. Bullshit, Jack is red in the face. My software is about to be buried next to BlackBerry, I interrupt him. And you know it. That's why you're so willing to renegotiate. Most of your clients have moved on to better technology and now you're stuck with a warehouse full of redundant stock. Jack, Dad looks at him flabbergasted. Is this true? Of course not, he huffs. I always gave you the best price. It doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong, I shrug. I'm not here to renew our partnership. I'm here to inform you that Austin and I have a solid contract and relationship. Is that why you're here? He glares at me. To gloat about your new supplier? No, my words are icy. I'm here to warn you that if you ever pull a stunt like you did with Austin, I will flatten both you and your business. When I'm done with you, you'll be able to spell slander in every language and font possible. Get out of my house, he hisses at me. You're no longer, Daddy. Angela comes around the corner and Jack abruptly stops talking. Axel, she whispers, and her eyes lighten up. Are you here to see me? No, Angela, I reply stiffly. This is purely business. Can we talk? There's so much hope in her voice that it feels like I will be telling a child Santa Claus is not real if I decline. We're about to leave, I clear my throat. Sorry, maybe at another time. After what you've done to her, hearing her out is the least you can do, Jack grunts. Dad gives me a sympathetic look and with irritation, I get up and follow Angela inside. I'm seeing a therapist, she says softly as we walk into Jack's office and close the door. And I'm on medication. I'm glad you're getting the help you need, I force a smile and push my hands into my pockets. That's just it, her eyes are filled with hurt. It's not helping. I still love you. Angela, no, I cut her off brusquely. There's no use talking about this. I accepted my mate and I'm happy with her. Lyanna, her eyes blaze and she lifts her chin. You can say her name, you know. Her identity isn't a secret. We're done here, I grunt and walk towards the door. I killed for you, she shouts, and I stop dead in my tracks. Tried, I say and turn around. You tried to kill Lyanna, but I found her in time. And if she hadn't convinced me otherwise, you would have been dead by now for even thinking of harming her. I'm talking about Greta, she smiles, and a sickening feeling overwhelms me. For 6 years I have been haunted by that day. Greta and I had a fight about something frivolous. I stormed out, shifted and ran into the woods. I did not know that she followed me until I got home, and she was gone. Her mutilated body was found that evening, but we could never figure out who did it. There were no new scents, and everybody had an alibi. Angela said she was sleeping, and nobody saw her leave. She was only 21 at the time, and nobody suspected her. You killed Greta. I inhale deeply to calm myself. Why did you do that? She hasn't done anything to you. She didn't make you happy, she states passionately. Everybody knew it but you. You were too mesmerized by her beauty. She wasn't your mate and the two of you were fighting constantly. It was clear that you needed help, so I killed for you. Can your mate say that? Does she love you enough to kill? Lyanna is struggling with the pregnancy. She'll never be able to love you like I do. You're insane, I look at her in disgust. And you just confessed to murder. You know what that means. Repulsed, I turn around and walk out. It wasn't murder, she yells as she runs after me. It was a favor to you. I didn't ask for any, I keep on walking. Axel, please, she grabs my arm and I yank away. Don't you ever touch me again, I hiss furiously. You disgust me. Nobody will believe you, she continues as I keep on walking. Nobody saw me leave the mansion. What is going on? Jack bellows as he and Dad walk towards us. She belongs in an asylum, I say angrily. She's batshit crazy. Don't say that. Angela screams and bursts out in tears. Jack instantly runs to comfort her, and I look at them. She confessed to a murder, I growl. And, no. Angela shouts and jerks free from Jack's embrace. It was self-defense. You'll be charged with murder, I continue. I said no. She storms towards me and with a deafening growl, she shifts. Angela, don't. Jack shouts but she lunges at me. I move to the side, and she misses me. Immediately she turns around and comes at me again. Quickly I shift and bite into her outstretched paw. With all my might I swing her to the side, and she flies through the air before crashing into the fireplace. Growling, she stands up and shakes her fur as she bares her teeth at me. Patiently, I wait for her next move. She leaps towards me, and I claw at her, striking her in the face. Her body connects hard with the wall, and she knocks her head on the sleeper wood coffee table. My chest is heaving as I stare at her, but she does not move. What have you done? Jack screams as he runs to her lifeless body. Axel POV my baby, Jack sobs as he touches Angela all over. I shift back and kneel next to them. Get your naked ass away from her, Jack sounds on the verge of hysteria. I'm trying to help, I grunt as I feel for a pulse. You've done enough. He bellows. You killed her. You're a murderer. Jack, Dad kneels next to him and rests his hand on his shoulder. It was an accident. She has a pulse, I say urgently. We need to get her to the hospital. You hear that, Jack? Dad comforts him. She's not dead. But Jack is too distraught to register anything other than his wounded daughter as he cradles her head in his lap while weeping. I look at the wide-eyed Omega who is staring at the scene in horror. Get a blanket. Hurry. The Omega scurries away and I run to our car where I quickly put on sweatpants and a t-shirt. Barefoot I run back to the living room. The Omega holds out blankets and I grab it. "Come on, Jack," I say firmly as I cover Angela and pick her up. "I'm not going anywhere with you," he hisses. "Then pull yourself together and rally your men to help you," I lose my temper. "Or get into our car so that we can get her to the hospital." "Jack," Dad says patiently. "Where's Mary?" Book club or something," he stutters bewildered. "You need to call her," Dad says as he pulls Jack by the arm towards the car. "Useless idiot," I grunt inwardly as I carry Angela to the car and Dad drags Jack along. One little incident and Jack turns into a blabbering idiot. How did he manage to run a pack for 4 decades? "I'll drive," Dad opens the back door for me to get in before he helps Jack into the front seat. It is eerily quiet in the car as Dad speeds towards the hospital. I keep my hand on Angela's pulse, and I can feel it weaken with every minute. She deserves to die for everything she has done. But a part of me hopes she pulls through so that I can tell her exactly how much I hate her before I lock her up for an eternity. And then I will make it my daily routine to visit her and reassure her that I hate her. Dad parks with screeching tires at the emergency center and I quickly get out and run inside with Angela. People are instantly surrounding me and within seconds, Angela is being pushed on a gurney to an examination room. "What a pathetic moron," I whisper to Dad as I look at Jack sitting in the waiting room. "Give him a break, son," Dad sighs heavily. "He's in shock." "That's no excuse," I huff. "If he can't handle a crisis, he shouldn't be the alpha." "Not now, Axel," Dad warns softly. "Losing a child is vastly different than losing a spouse or pack member. He's scared, don't be too harsh on him." "Phone Mary," I grunt. "He's incapable of wiping his own ass right now." "Lyanna POV gorgeous," I exclaim happily as I look at Adele and Nina in their bridesmaid dresses. Their Empire-style dresses are beautiful and flattering. "I love it," Nina shrieks and twirls. "It's pink," Adele pouts as she tries to pull the bust higher. "And puffy." "Oh, please," Nina rolls her eyes. "Chiffon isn't puffy." "Do you want a puffy dress, Adele?" I tease as I sip on my sparkling grape juice. "Please no," feverishly she shakes her head. "I'll gladly wear this." "It's just for one night," Nina giggles. "You'll survive." "I'm your guard," Adele looks at me with a pained look. "I shouldn't be a bridesmaid." "You've been more than a guard for a long time, Adele," I smile. "Besides, as my bridesmaid, you'll literally be by my side." My cell phone chimes in my handbag, and I reach for it. "Axel's home," I announce as I put my phone back. "Does that mean there's no time for cheesecake?" Nina pouts. "There's always time for cheesecake," I smile. The second Adele and I walk into the front door, we can hear Mrs. Silverman crying and I sigh inwardly. I had the perfect day. I do not need her drama and spoil my mood. Reluctantly, I follow the noise to Grant's office and when I see his face, I know this is more than his wife's theatrics. "Call me if you need me," Adele whispers and I nod. "What happened?" I ask cautiously when I do not see Axel. "Did something happen to him?" "Where's Axel?" "Phone call," Grant replies and relief washes over me. "Axel is fine." "We should talk," Grant splinters my moment of peace and I take a seat. Angela and Axel had an altercation, his voice is monotone as he informs me of what happened. My blood boils as I listen to how that psycho bitch attacked him. Angela's scans showed a massive hemorrhage in her brain and her EEG showed minimal brain activity. Her coma is irreversible. I look at my hands as I process the information. Everything inside me screams it serves her right, but I do not dare utter the words. Not while the room is filled with snot and tears and depression. "Are you okay?" I ask softly and Grant nods. "I need to find Axel," I say as I stand up and go look for him. Over time, Axel has said more than once that he wanted to kill Angela, but this was an accident. Goddess knows what emotions he is experiencing now, and I should be there for him. Quietly I walk into our room and hear the shower running. I kick off my shoes and walk to the bathroom where I find Axel pressing with his hands against the wall as the water streams over his body. Silently I undress and get into the shower. He looks at me and I smile softly as I pick up the loofah and add body wash. He does not move or say anything as I wash his back, neck, and arms. I move to his front and concentrate on his chest. She confessed, his voice is emotionless. My hands are still for a moment before I continue washing him. She killed Greta and had all the intentions of killing you, he grunts. But she didn't, I look up at him. You saved me. You could have died. His arms go around my waist, and he pulls me impossibly close to his chest. Axel, I pull away slightly to cup his face. She got what she deserved, and I'm still here. He looks at me long and intensely before his lips come crashing down on mine. His kiss is eager and demanding. I curl my fingers into his hair as he holds me tighter while I fervently return his kiss. The tiles are cold against my back when he presses me against it as his lips move over my jaw to my breasts. I moan satisfied when his tongue flicks my nipple before taking it into his mouth. I reach down between our bodies and curl my fingers around his erection. He growls deep and low as I start stroking him. He turns me around and I support myself with my hands against the wall as he bends me forward before entering me. I close my eyes and savor the intense feeling of him inside me before he starts thrusting. The water is warm and soothing on my back as he shoves harder and deeper into me. His hand glides smoothly over my hip forwards until he reaches my clitoris. My breathing gets heavier as he rubs me while thrusting at the same rhythm. I tighten my pelvic floor muscles around his erection as my desire grows and he grunts satisfied. Reality evaporates as my orgasm builds until I cry out in ecstasy. He keeps on thrusting until my arms start trembling. His arms go around my waist, and he pulls me against his chest. Tenderly he kisses my mark before he picks me up and carries me to bed. We're wet, I protest weakly as he lays me down. It doesn't matter, he mumbles before kissing me. He pulls the cover over us before his lips find their way to my stomach. He kisses my baby bump for a moment before he rests his head against my belly. Axel, I lift my head and look at him concerned. Are you okay? She almost killed you, he mumbles before lifting his head and looking at me. I'm so happy she didn't, but to think that I might lose you scares the shit out of me. Don't die. Okay, I comfort him as I pull him into my embrace and bury my face in his neck. But only if you can promise me the same. Deal, he sighs. Lyanna POV. I'm nervous, I shake my hands as I pace up and down in my wedding gown in the hotel room. I had a small army of people helping to get dressed and do my makeup and hair. I have been looking forward to this moment for so long. I was excited the entire morning and I have no idea why I am anxious. Why am I so nervous? I want to marry Axel. I want to do this, I should be calm and relaxed. Not nervous. Because you're the bride and all eyes will be on you, Adele says as she awkwardly pulls on her dress bust. Adele, Nina hisses at her with big eyes and shakes her head. It's okay, Nina, I inhale deeply. She's right. It's terrifying. Okay, wait. Nina comes to stand in front of me and places her hands on my shoulders. Remember when Kate Middleton and Prince William got married? We watched it on TV, and we admired her dress and grace. Kate was an ordinary girl who married a prince. Can you imagine how terrifying it was for her? And it wasn't just the people from London who watched or even Britain. It was the entire world. If she could do that, you can do this. You're right. I close my eyes and take a deep breath. I can do this. Besides, Nina grins wickedly. Your pregnancy boobs are awesome. People won't take much notice of anything else. She's not wrong, Adele chuckles, and a blush creeps up from my neck to my ears. Is my dress cut too low? I ask when a wave of fresh panic hits me. No, no, not at all, Nina says quickly when she notices my embarrassment. It's perfect. It's classy and feminine. It's a good thing. Luna, everything will be fine, Adele says seriously. Nobody is going to kidnap you or drop the cake. Adele. Nina explodes. Not helping. I'm saying it's all good, Adele protests. She shouldn't worry about that, or her boobs. The two of you are lousy at calming me, I glare at them. Don't blame me, Adele shrugs. You knew I suck at this kind of thing when you asked me to do this. That's true, I laugh as some tension leaves me. Thank you, I take Adele's hand. And you, I look at Nina as I reach for her hand. I know I'm freaking out a little, but things were so chaotic lately that I have a difficult time believing that this will go without drama. Give it time, Adele grins wickedly. Things can still happen. You're evil, Nina laughs. But I love her, I squeeze Adele's hand. Ladies, Adele looks at her watch. It's time to go. Okay, Nina says quickly as she reaches for my hair. Let's just fix this. It's fine, Adele rolls her eyes. She's fine and I want to get out of this dress. Drew and Carol are already waiting for us when we reach the hall's door. Carol clamps her hands together excitedly before she walks towards us. Sweet child, you look gorgeous, Carol takes my hands in hers and squeezes them gently. I'm so grateful that I can be a part of this. So am I say emotionally as I hug her. I do not want to admit it, but I miss my parents. Carol and Drew filled that void, but sometimes I still wish my parents could see how far I have come. Thank you. Drew smiles lovingly at me before he hugs me tightly and I sigh contently against his chest. He was the first kind soul I have encountered since Axel came into my life. His support and approval mean the world to me. Axel looks nervous, Nina giggles as she peeks around the door frame. A nervous Axel? That I must see, Adele rushes to her side. Oh, shit, she mumbles and stumbles backwards. What? I ask anxiously when I look at her pale face. I knew it was too good to be true and that everything would go smoothly. Is something wrong? Who's that man between Axel and David? She asks with big eyes. You mean Luther? I frown. He's Axel's cousin. What's wrong with him? Luther, she whispers the name absent-mindedly. What's going on? I am on the verge of a panic attack. Adele is my guard, and if she is cautious about a person, I should be too. She clears her throat as she looks at me. He's my mate. This is going to be a fabulous wedding, Nina giggles. You should be happy, I exhale relieved and touch Adele's shoulder. Luther is a great guy. Nina adds. This is unexpected, Adele stutters. But it's a good thing, right? I smile at her. Honestly, I know him. You have a great mate. This is a problem for later, she shakes her head. Right now, we're getting you married. Ladies, Drew intervenes and gives Carol a signal. She nods and scurries away. We must go in before Axel passes out. Now I'm nervous, Adele mumbles as she fixes her dress. Aren't you grateful for the pink and puffy dress? Nina teases her. You're going to knock Luther off his feet. I can do that without pink, she snorts. The first notes of the violin fill the air and I take a deep breath before taking Drew's arm. Ready? He looks down at me. So ready, I smile happily. Facing the sea of faces is still terrifying, but I cannot wait to stand next to Axel. Nina starts walking and Adele follows her. I cannot help myself, I keep my eyes fixated on Luther. The second he sees Adele, his eyes widen and even from a distance, I can see him swallow. Nina was right, this wedding is going to be fabulous. Drew places his hand over mine and together we start walking down the aisle. Instantly my eyes find Axel. He is standing tall and proud. His tuxedo complements his godlike body, and everything fades. All the noises, the people, the music. It is just the two of us and our future. I want to walk faster, but Drew holds tightly onto me until we reach Axel. Axel POV. My heart is beating like a racehorse's and my mouth is dry like the Sahara. She was supposed to walk down the aisle 5 minutes ago. Why is she not here yet? Is she okay? Is there something wrong with the baby? Relax, Luther whispers next to me. She'll be here. I'm not worried if she'll show, I mumble. I'm worried if she's okay. You would have known if something happened, he replies. Just relax. I can't wait for you to meet your mate, I grunt irritated. Then you'll understand what it is when nothing else matters besides their well-being. You're exaggerating, he snorts. Hush, I say quickly as the violin starts playing. My eyes fixate on the door like a hawk. I relax when I see Nina, but Luther gurgles next to me when Adele enters and I glance at him. Are you dying? I hiss irritated. Mate, he gulps. That's my mate. I'm going to have fun with this, I smirk as I look at Adele's flustered face. Adele is a strong, independent guard. She is not going to settle down with a man easily. Luther is going to need much more perseverance, poems, and flowers to convince her to accept him. But my smile evaporates and my blood freezes when Lyanna and Drew come into view. Her blonde hair is curly and gold down her back. Her white and golden gown drapes dreamily around her curves, and at that very moment, I believe I see an angel. Impatiently, I wait for her to walk to me. I am so ready to shout I do, reap her up in my arms and run with her into our future. In a haze, I shake Drew's hand before Lyanna and I take our places. I cannot stop smiling as I look at her while the ceremony continues. I respond appropriately when it is my turn, but I only have eyes for her. I must have done something right for the goddess to bless me like this. You may now kiss the bride. The words are manna to my soul and I pull her closer. She smiles sweetly at me and I kiss her gently. Her lips are soft and warm and I cannot help myself. I pull her even closer and deepen the kiss. Someone, I think it is my dad, loudly clears his throat and reluctantly I let go of her as soft laughter fills the room. I love you, Mrs. Silverman, I whisper. I love you, Mr. Silverman, she replies softly. Lyanna blushes beautifully, and to the guests' laughter, I kiss her again before I take her hand and lead her outside to start our lives together. Lyanna POV. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Alpha and Luna Silverman. A loud applause welcomes us as we walk to the dance floor. Axel twirls me once before I am close to his chest, and he steers me across the floor. Well, that was easier than I expected, he smirks, and I follow his gaze to where Adele and Luther are entangled in a steamy make-out session. I thought Adele was going to resist him more. Kissing him and accepting him are not the same, I laugh. You should know that better than most. True, he smiles before leaning in for a kiss. I'm surprised they came, I say softly as I look at Jack and Mary at their table. Mary looks tired while Jack is an empty shell. It is like his spirit is trapped with Angela's. I'm surprised you didn't fight my mother on inviting them, Axel grins. They're their oldest friends, I sigh. It's only fair. But I would have stayed at home if I were them. This must be torture. Looking at us instead of you and Angela. Dreading the night instead of enjoying it. Why would they willingly do this to themselves? Maybe because it's better than staying at home and staring at your vegetated daughter. He suggests. Neither option is healthy, I sigh. Staying at home and harboring dark thoughts or coming here and staring at the reason for their dark thoughts. Whatever their motivation, it's their problem. He pulls me against his chest and kisses me when the music stops. Tonight is about us. It's kind of weird to have a normal life, I laugh as we walk to our table. I got used to the drama. Lyanna, Nina comes running to me with big eyes. Can we talk, please? I look at Axel and he smiles sweetly. Go, he kisses me again. I'll be at the bar. Thanks, Alpha, Nina says as she takes my hand and drags me outside into the garden. Where's the fire? I laugh astounded and pull her to a halt. It's David, her eyes are wide and bewildered. He's my mate, he just told me that. I don't know if I should believe him. Why don't you believe him? I frown. Come on, she rolls her eyes. We've known each other for months and now he claims to be my mate. On the night that Adele finds hers. What are the odds? I think he's taking advantage of the situation. No, he's not, I say sympathetically as I take her hands. David told Axel he's your mate that day he saw you in his office. He patiently waited for you to find yourself after what Wilson did to you. The same way Axel waited for me. Really? Her eyes tear up. It's sweet and kind but infuriating. I mean, I love him, but I was readying myself to lose him once he meets his mate. I know the feeling, I smile empathetically. But he did the right thing, Nina. Wilson did a number on you. So, it's real, she laughs happily. I found my mate and this time it's real. I'm going to find him and then, you know. I do, I laugh heartedly as she hurries away. Smiling, I watch her leave. It warms my heart that my best friend has found her mate and happiness. And the best part, she's mated to the beta. She and I will now even see more of each other. Lyanna. The familiar voice makes my heart skip a beat and my body freezes over. How did you get in? I swing around and the blood drains from my face when I look at my father. He looks terrible. His eyes are sunken into his face and his skin is covered in wrinkles. It's a hotel, he shrugs. I walked in. I am too stunned to move or say a word. At one point in my life, I loved this man most in the world. Now I am unsure what I feel. A part of me is happy but I am equally hurt and angry at him. He failed me when I needed him the most. Why are you here, father? I finally found my voice. My daughter got married and I wasn't invited, he smiles sadly. Can you blame me for trying to see you? Yes, I can, I lift my chin. Because you made it abundantly clear that I'm no longer your daughter. I want to apologize, he replies tiredly. A lot of things were said that day and all of it in anger. Let me guess, I cross my arms in front of my chest. You need money? No, he says hastily and takes a step towards me, but I instinctively step backwards. Pain flashes over his face but he does not attempt to come closer. I'm sorry, he sighs heavily. I don't blame you for thinking that. That's new, I sneer. Since I am always to blame for everything. I'm sorry, he starts again. Sorry for always relying on you. For expecting you to provide for us. Most of all, I'm sorry for blaming you for Leon's death and kicking you out. My heart weeps as I look at him. For nights, I cried myself to sleep and dreamt of this moment, but now. I do not know if I can believe him. The fact that he found me on my wedding day means he knows I married into money. History taught me that he is here because he wants something from me. That thing is not love. And despite my reasoning, my heart begs to help him. I accept your apology, I say after a moment of silence. But it will take time for me to truly forgive you. The things you said that day. I'm not ready to rekindle our relationship. I understand, he bows his head and takes a deep breath before he looks at me again. But don't take too long, your mother is dying. She has cancer, and it's terminal. For sake, father, I explode. Why can't you allow me one day of happiness? Of all the days, you picked my wedding to share the news with me. How can you ask for forgiveness and ruin my day in the same breath? Would you rather I don't tell you? He looks hurt and broken. I don't know where you live. This is the only time I could get hold of you. Have you tried picking up a phone? I sneer. This is hardly news that you share via a message or a phone call, he protests. You could have called and arranged a meeting, I argue as my anger overtakes my sadness. But my happiness and needs were never a priority for you. I'm the fool to think that it has changed. Lyanna, I know I failed you, his words are soft. But don't think you're the only one hurting. Your mother has advanced pancreatic cancer and has less than a year. Your brother is dead, and we are estranged. When she dies, I have nothing. So what? I shout. What did you leave me with when you kicked me out? Forsake, I wasn't even allowed to attend my brother's funeral. Forget it, he says angrily. I came here to apologize and tell you your mother is dying. Nothing else. What you do with that information is up to you. I've done my part. No, I snap when he turns around. You don't get to play the victim and walk away. For years, I sold myself short for the sake of our family. For Leon. But you and Mom refused to see him for what he was. He was weak and addicted to gambling. And instead of getting him help, you enabled him by making me work harder. When his sins finally caught up with him, you blamed me. What have you and Mom sacrificed? What have you done to help him? So, no Dad, you don't get to be the victim because I'm angry and hurt. Playing the cancer card doesn't undo what you've done. I'm sorry, Lyanna, he sighs. An apology is all I have. Nobody can undo the past, but we can work on the future. You don't have to forgive me. Just know that I am truly sorry for my mistakes. Sorry doesn't heal my heart, I say with a trembling lip as I place my hands protective over my stomach. I worshipped you, Father, and you tossed me aside like I was nothing. But you're right, we can't undo the past. I appreciate that you came to find me and that you apologized. However, my future doesn't include you. Congratulations on your big day, he says softly. And you look beautiful. I love you and I'm proud of you. My heart breaks as he turns around and walks away. All my life, that is all I ever wanted to hear. But it will still take me time to believe and forgive him. How could I ever forget? Axel POV. Hey, David, I stand next to him at the bar. How are things with Nina? Have you told her yet? 10 minutes ago, he sighs heavily before finishing his drink in one swallow. That bad? I ask concerned. Seems I won't be your beta after all, he smirks sadly. I need my true mate, and she's leaning towards rejecting me. Are you sure? I frown. Nina told Lyanna she's in love with you. I don't think she walked away, David interrupts me. She gave me a look, turned around and walked away. So, thank you for the offer, Alpha, but my mate's not interested. David, I try to stop him when he turns around, but he keeps on walking, and I turn back to the bar. It would be a shame if David declined the position. Nick has already handed in his resignation, and I don't want anybody other than David. Axel. Dad calls and I turn around. He is at his table waving at me and I nod. I order my drink and walk to him and Mother. Where's your beautiful bride? Dad asks jovially as I take a seat at their table. Bridesmaid business, I smile, and suddenly it hits me why Nina wanted to talk to Lyanna so urgently. It is about David confessing he is her mate. Well, at least I know there is no one better to advise Nina on the subject than Lyanna. She would know exactly what to say and I am sure David will be my beta, after all. I had my doubts, Mother says through tight lips. But everything is tasteful and beautiful. She did a good job. Mom, I rest my hand on hers. You should tell her that. It would mean the world to her. I'm afraid I'm not there yet, Mother admits. But I'm getting there. This is a start, I sigh. Pressuring her is not going to speed things up. It might only make things worse. It would be best if I allow her the time she needs. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting, Mary and Jack stand next to us. But we're on our way. Thanks for coming, Dad jumps up and shakes Jack's hand before he walks away in the direction of the bar. Since the incident with Angela, Dad has very little to say to them. So soon? Mother protests. Dessert has not even been served. I'm afraid so. Mary looks at Mom and avoids me. We had enough of this event for one night. I was hoping you'd spend the night. Mother stands up and hugs Mary. Are you sure there's nothing I can say to change your mind? No, Mary smiles sadly. We don't like being away from home. We don't want Angela to be alone when she wakes up. I ignore the glare she directs my way and take a huge gulp from my whiskey. Mary and Jack are in denial. Angela is never going to wake up. Not after crashing her head twice against a wall and once on a solid wooden table. I understand, Mom says sympathetically. Thanks for coming. You're welcome, Mary nods. And good luck with, you know. Good luck with what? The words blurred out before I could stop myself. I am not an idiot. I know she is referring to Lyanna and I will not stand for it. The disappointment, Mary's glare is cold as she replies through tight lips. And having a human as a Luna. Goddess knows what deficiencies your child's going to have. Disappointment. My voice is deceitfully calm as I rise out of my chair and walk to her. Are you deaf or slow? Mary sneers. You're a disappointment to your parents. You broke down everything your father has worked for. You're going to run this pack and the business into the ground within 5 years. Mary, enough. Mother snaps before I can respond. Axel is doing an excellent job. I understand you're heartbroken about Angela, but you can't blame him for her condition. He found his mate and respected our laws. That isn't his fault, and what happened to Angela was an accident. Were you there? Mary looks coolly at Mother. Because Angela can't defend herself and all we have is his account of events. Jack was there, I growl and glare at him, but Jack only looks at me with empty eyes. And so was my dad and an Omega. She attacked me. Because you provoked her, Mary spits the words. My daughter wouldn't harm a fly. She's a cold-blooded killer, I hiss furiously. She's too much of a coward to harm a fly, Lyanna growls behind me and everybody goes quiet. She locks you up in a bathroom and then leaves you to die. My heart nearly stops as I look into her fiery blue eyes. She just growled. Instantly I am at her side and take her wrist. Don't worry, her words are soft while her eyes are fixated on Mary. I'm not about to shift. It's under control. Oh, please, Mary's laugh is humorless and ugly. You don't have anything under control. You'll die with your first shift, you're too weak. You think you're superior because you're a born wolf. Lyanna walks closer to Mary, and she takes a step backwards. You're stronger and faster than humans and you got comfortable. Angela hasn't worked a day in her life. What she wanted, you gave to her. And when she couldn't get it, she took it by any means necessary. I was born a human and grew up poor and I'm grateful for that. It made me strong, and it taught me to fight. Not only am I controlling my own alpha wolf, but I'm growing one as well. And not once did I have to kill, manipulate, or oppress somebody else to get here. What you call weak, I call self-control. You're an abomination, Mary looks at Lyanna in disgust. Woman, I will rip your head off, I growl and take a step forward, but Lyanna takes my hand and I look at her. Let her be, Lyanna says softly. She's entitled to her opinion, and I couldn't care less what she thinks of me. Her opinion won't change the fact that we're going home as a family while she has to return home where sorrow lives. That was a cruel thing to say, Mary looks at Lyanna with hatred. You're going to be a mother soon and you better start praying that you never have to experience such a loss. Are you threatening her or my grandchild? The fire in Mother's voice surprises me. Because neither is acceptable. Neither, Mary looks at Mom. But now I know I've lost my best friend's support. Come on, Jack, we overstayed our welcome. Mary takes Jake's arm and together they walk away. I mind link security to ensure that they leave our premises before I turn to Lyanna. Are you sure you're okay? I gently rub up and down her arms. Feel my heart rate, she takes my hand and presses it against her pulse. I'm fine. I'm not, Mother sighs. I need a drink. Mrs. Silverman, no, Lyanna, Mother cuts her off. This time you don't apologize. This time I'm on your side. Mother smiles stiffly at Lyanna before she walks towards the bar. Are all wolf weddings this dramatic? Lyanna looks flabbergasted at me. You have a room filled with alphas, what did you expect? I laugh as I pull her into my embrace. At least we got married in peace, she smiles as her arms go around my waist. My dad was here. What? I look down at her in astonishment. Why didn't you mind link me? I would have been there in a heartbeat. I wasn't in any danger, she looks up at me. He's an old and broken man. Emotional support, love, I lean over and kiss her. I wouldn't have kicked him out or beaten him up, but I could have at least been there if you needed a hand to hold on to. I know, she smiles sadly. I wanted to face him alone, Axel. I needed to figure out if I could stand my ground without backup. I get it, I smile. Just remember I'm here for you, always. My mother's dying, she sighs against my chest and holds on tighter to me as she tells me what happened. I should see her. I'll go with you, I kiss her on the top of her head. You don't have to, she replies softly. I can handle it. Lyanna, I sit down and pull her onto my lap. I don't doubt your abilities, but I will never forgive myself if anything happens to you or Wolfie. I'll stay out of your way if you need me to, but please don't go without me. You're a good husband, Alpha Silverman, she cups my face and kisses me lovingly. Lyanna POV I miss our honeymoon, I sigh theatrically as I rub my belly which has nearly tripled in size overnight. The beach house, the ocean, and quiet. Waking up next to the ocean just does something to me. I know, Axel gives me a wicked smile as he steers through traffic. And then you do things to me which I thoroughly enjoy. It was our honeymoon, I laugh. Of course, I'm going to have my way with you. Do you want to go this weekend? Axel asks. One last getaway before Wolfie arrives. As much as I would love that, it's too risky, I smile sadly. What if he decides to come early? I'm not delivering this baby without Michelle. I can always ask her to join us. Axel reaches over and gently rubs my stomach. And traumatize her with our noises. I snort. I like her, let's not do that. Yes, dear, he grins as he turns onto the road that leads to my parents' trailer park. The familiarity of everything suddenly hits me in the gut and I inhale deeply. 7 months have passed since I last set foot here and still, it feels like it was yesterday. Remind me again why I wanted to do this. I ask nervously as I fumble with my fingers. Lyanna, I will turn around right now if you want me to, Axel says sincerely. No, I shake my head. Keep going. I will only postpone the inevitable. Okay, he parks in front of my parents' unit. But the second you're uncomfortable or in distress, we're leaving. Thanks, I smile weakly. I take a couple of deep breaths as Axel gets out of the car and walks around to open my door. With my hand in his, we walk to the door and wait patiently after he knocks. Lyanna. Dad looks surprised at me and then at my stomach. Hi, Dad, I smile. May we come in? Yes, please, he says hastily as he opens the door and steps aside. Your mother is sleeping but I can wake her. No, don't, I reply softly. We'll wait until she wakes up. My heart breaks when I see the inside of the trailer. My mother might be heartless, but she was always on top of her household duties. It is still neat and tidy, but it has not been cleaned properly in weeks. Dad, I swallow on the lump in my throat. Where's the TV and your recliner? Oh, I sold it, he rubs his neck awkwardly. But we can sit at the kitchen counter. I give Alex a pained look before walking to the fridge, and I nearly burst into tears when I look at the contents. 6 eggs, half a bread and an almost empty can of jam. Dad looks down at his feet like a scolded child as I go through the cupboards one by one. The less I see, or rather, do not see, the more upset I get. Dad, I take a deep breath before I turn to him. I never cancelled the grocery order when Leon died. Where's the food? I'm sorry, Lyanna, he looks at me with tear-filled eyes. Your mother is in a lot of pain. I sell some of it to buy painkillers for her. Damn it, Father, my bottom lip starts quivering and Axel is immediately by my side and places his arm comforting around my shoulder. At this moment it does not matter what they have said or done to me in the past. They are still my parents, and watching firsthand how they are struggling, is breaking my heart. Only some of it, he says hastily. I swear, we eat most of it. I need fresh air, I mumble and storm out of the trailer. Lyanna, Axel calls after me, but I keep on walking until I am at the car. Love, are you all right? Axel asks gently as he rests his hand on my shoulder. No, I sniff and wipe the tears off my face. They're suffering, Axel. And I was too hurt and mad at them to care. What kind of daughter? Enough, he cuts me off and pulls me into his embrace. They could have reached out to you, but they didn't. They chose to cut you off. This is not on you. Thanks to you, they had food every day. I should have done more, I argue. I should have tried harder. I should have done better. Do you remember the state you were in when they kicked you out? Axel asks sternly as he takes me by the shoulders and looks me in the eyes. You collapsed, Lyanna. You cried yourself to sleep for weeks on end. This is not your fault. It doesn't feel like it. I inhale deeply and pull myself together. I know Axel is right, but I cannot suppress the sadness. I thought they would be okay if I kept on sending food. I have been living in luxury while they had to sell their furniture and food to make ends meet. I should have thought that mother would need medicine and that they would not be able to afford it. Okay, Axel rubs my arms. Go see your mother. I will go shopping. Let me know what else they need besides food, okay? I love you, I throw my arms around his neck and cling for dear life. I would have never made it this far without him. I love you too, he hugs me tightly before pulling away and kissing me. I won't be long. I nod and wipe the last tears away before walking back into the trailer. I'm sorry, Lyanna, Dad says the moment I walk inside. I didn't think you'd be mad at us for selling the food. I'm not mad, I close my eyes for a second and fight my emotions. I swear, if I start crying now, I will never stop. I only wished I knew earlier so that I could have helped. My child, Dad mumbles and rubs his wrinkled hands over and over. We mistreated you poorly long enough. It wouldn't have been fair to come to you again. You need to live your life. When Leon died, he was my baby boy. I had all these hopes and dreams for him. Every time he failed, I thought, next time. Just believe. Don't give up on him, he can do it. I never had to worry about you like that. You always did your best, even in school. You worked hard and never complained. You never asked for anything. But Leon, there was always something with him. I knew he needed more attention and guidance than you to get somewhere in the world. When he died there would never be a next time, and I was angry at everyone. Angry at Leon for never living up to his potential. Angry for being too weak to provide for my family like a real man. And I took it out on you. I'm sorry, Lyanna. I can never take back the things I said. So, I decided that I would get back on my feet, and once I can take care of me and Mom by myself, I will reach out to you. Prove to you that I love you for you and not using you to provide for us. Oh, Dad, I bite hard on my lip to stop the tears as I throw my arms around his waist and hug him. I can feel his bones through his shirt and sorrow rips through me. The things he said to me that day, pulled my soul apart. And as painful as it was, I am ready to let it go. This is a heartfelt apology. He is not asking anything from me. Not even forgiveness. He is simply saying sorry. I'm so sorry, Dad cries. I should have fought harder for you. I should have said something every time your mother has been unreasonable towards you. I should have appreciated you more and showed it. I failed you, Lyanna, and nothing can change that. Please stop, I cry against his shirt. It's in the past and I'm happy now. I love you and I forgive you. We don't need to talk about it ever again. I don't deserve you, Dad sniffs. Or your kindness, but I'm grateful, Lyanna. You're the only thing I've done right in my life. Enough of this, I pull away and wipe my cheeks. We leave the past where it belongs and work on the future. I'm going to check in on Mom. Okay, Dad nods as he dries his face. I'll make tea. I stop at the bathroom and fix my makeup before going to the bedroom. Quietly, I open the door and inhale deeply when I look at the tiny figure on the bed. She has lost an alarming amount of weight, and her complexion is a frightening yellow. I take a seat on the chair next to the bed and pick up her hand. Hello, Mother, I say softly, and she looks tiredly at me. The rest of the audiobook will be continued in the next episode. Join us on Patreon for early access or more great audiobooks. A link is provided in the video description.